Before the cool front came through yesterday, we were dealing with the hottest temperatures of the year so far. Abilene topped out at 103 degrees on Monday. And this week's Weather-Wise, Caiden Dinkins shows us more about heat.
100-degree temperatures are right around the corner as we get closer to summer months. That's going to be more continuous. But there's a few things you should know about the criteria in our area for when that heat does come around. So a heat advisory is when that maximum heat index is going to be at 100 for at least 2 days and doesn't really drop below 75 as it goes into the overnight hours. Excessive heat watch is what will be in effect after an advisory, and it will be 105 or higher for 3 or more hours within a 24-hour to 72-hour time span. And lastly, excessive heat warning. This is when you really want to pay attention and be careful when you're going outside, because that maximum heat index is likely to reach 105 or higher for 2 days in a row. And those nighttime temperatures are not likely to fall below 75 degrees. Now there's another thing too. What is a heat index, you ask? So that's when that temperature feels warmer than that normal temperature is. This yellow line is representing the actual temperature. The orange is representing the index, meaning that it is much higher there for the other, for when that temperature is feeling a lot warmer. So we have that humidity and temperature increasing at the same time, making things feel much warmer, because your body acts as a coolant when you start to sweat. But when that sweat can't evaporate in a humid environment, it makes you feel much, much hotter. It could be 100 degrees outside, but it could feel like 115 to 120 in some areas. Now, when that does happen, you want to be alert to these heat dangers in the area. There's a heat exhaustion and heat stroke. A lot of the symptoms are a little bit similar, but you have cool, pale skin when you're heat exhausted. For heat stroke, it's red and hot. You have a weak pulse for heat exhaustion, strong pulse for heat stroke, muscle cramps for heat exhaustion, but you also could lose consciousness for heat stroke. The biggest difference here too is you also want to call 911 if you think you are experiencing heat stroke, whereas heat exhaustion you can likely recover in just a cool area with some ice and starting to cool down by drinking a cool drink, likely water. So make sure you're drinking lots of water this summer. Switching into wildfire season, that's also going along with that heat. We're looking at less drought for our area as we are in the last few weeks of May. We have just abnormally dry conditions down in the San Angelo area, but that's pretty good because we got quite a bit of rain, and we are looking still at this week at a lot of just normal kind of temperatures here, or normal precipitation in our area. So we're lucky to see a lot of that already this season, and we're looking towards La Nina though, meaning dry and warm for our southern area. So why wildfires happen? You need lots of dry vegetation, low humidity, and winds, which likely we get a lot of the times. So even though we had a lot of precipitation, that's helping a lot of things grow, which is that fuel load on the ground. So you want a lot of that prairie grass and trees for those fires. You have that heat source, which is likely lightning with those storms out there. Also sparks and flames as well. You might want to stay away from those. Those cause those fires with that wind. But if you want to prepare for these during those wildfires, prepare to evacuate, listen to the emergency channels, listen to your local outlets, and put emergency supplies in your car, like that Go Kit, like we've talked about with the past severe weather, just so you can be prepared as we're coming up in these next few months.